Have you ever wondered why some people grow old with dignity, respect, and peace of mind, while others struggle with regret and bitterness? What makes the difference? Today we'll look at the life of Judge Frank Caprio, a man who didn't just grow old but grew wiser, kinder, and more inspiring with age. This is not just a story about a judge. It's about how you too can live your later years with meaning, health, and happiness. Frank Caprio is a name that millions of people around the world know. Not only because he was a respected judge in the United States, but because of the way he treated people, with kindness, compassion, and humanity. Even in his 80s, Judge Caprio continued to inspire millions through his courtroom. His simple yet powerful message was clear: growing old doesn't mean becoming weak. Growing old means becoming a guide, a light, and a source of hope for others. To understand how Frank Caprio enjoyed his old age, we must look back at his roots. He was born in a modest Italian-American family. His father worked as a milkman and later as a fruit peddler. Life was not easy. But young Frank learned something important. Hardship is temporary, but character lasts forever. This mindset, of working hard, respecting others, and staying humble, became the foundation of his entire life. Even in his old age, people noticed that Frank Caprio still carried the same humility he learned as a child. This is the first key lesson. If you want to enjoy your later years, never lose your humility and humanity. The power of purpose. Most people fear retirement because they think old age means the end of usefulness. But Judge Caprio proved otherwise. Well into his 70s and 80s, he kept serving his community. He listened to people's problems with patience. He forgave when possible. He encouraged those who were struggling. For him, purpose was the fuel of old age. This is the second key lesson. Don't let age take away your purpose. Find a reason to wake up every morning, whether it's helping your family, serving your community, or inspiring others. So, in this first part of our journey, we see two foundations of Judge Frank Caprio's beautiful old age. Humility and humanity, the values he never let go of. Purpose and service, the mission that kept him alive and joyful even in his later years. In the next part, we'll explore how his compassion in the courtroom became a global inspiration, and how you too can apply the same compassion in your daily life to age with grace. In the first part, we saw how Judge Frank Caprio's humility and sense of purpose gave him a strong foundation for a happy old age. But what truly made him stand out was how he practiced these values in real life, inside his courtroom. The courtroom of kindness. For most people, a courtroom is a place of fear. It's where punishment is given and people often walk in worried and hopeless. But Frank Caprio turned his courtroom into something extraordinary. When people came to him with traffic tickets or small violations, he didn't just see cases. He saw people. He listened to their struggles, whether it was a single mother who couldn't afford a fine, an elderly man trying to make ends meet, or a young student who made a mistake. Instead of treating them with harshness, he showed compassion. Sometimes he forgave their fines. Sometimes he reduced them. And sometimes he simply encouraged them, reminding them that everyone deserves a second chance. Global inspiration. Clips from his courtroom began to spread online. Millions of people across the world were moved by the kindness of an old judge who chose humanity over strict punishment. Why did this touch so many hearts? Because people saw something rare. An elderly man still active, still working, but most importantly, still leading with love. And here lies the third key lesson. Compassion is ageless. The more you give, the richer your later years become. The science of compassion and aging. Modern science agrees with what Judge Caprio lived. Studies show that older adults who practice kindness, volunteering, or compassion not only feel happier but also stay healthier. Compassion lowers stress, improves heart health, and even strengthens memory. In simple words, the more love you give, the more life you receive. His secret to popularity in old age. Most people fear being forgotten as they grow older. But Frank Caprio proved the opposite. He became more loved, more famous, and more respected in his 80s than ever before. Why? Because instead of clinging to power or wealth, he focused on what people will never forget: how you made them feel. This is the fourth lesson from his life. If you want to be remembered in your later years, make others feel valued. So in this second part, we've seen how Judge Caprio's courtroom became a classroom of compassion. His kindness didn't just solve people's problems, it gave the world a living example of how old age can still shine with influence and respect. In the next part, we'll go deeper into his personal life, family values, and daily habits, the hidden side of how he maintained health, positivity, and balance in his golden years. So far, we've discovered how Judge Frank Caprio's humility, purpose, and compassion shaped a beautiful old age. But behind the courtroom and the fame, there was also his personal life. His family, his habits, and his lifestyle choices that kept him strong and joyful even in his 80s. Family values, the anchor of his life. Judge Caprio often said that the greatest wealth of his life was not his career, not his fame, but his family. He married Joyce in 1962, and together they raised 5 children. Later, his family expanded with grandchildren, who became the true joy of his old age. Even with his busy schedule, he made time for family dinners, celebrations, and simple moments of togetherness. He believed that family is the support system that keeps an elderly person emotionally strong. Lesson number 5. Never distance yourself from family in old age. Stay connected, stay present, and cherish those bonds. Healthy lifestyle and routine. Many people ask, how could Judge Caprio stay so active and sharp even past 80? The answer lies in his routine and lifestyle. He practiced moderation in food, balanced rest, and regular activity. He wasn't chasing heavy gym workouts. Instead, he believed in consistency. Simple walks, staying socially engaged, and keeping his mind active through reading and work kept his body and brain in harmony. Lesson number 6. In old age, consistency is more powerful than intensity. Small, daily habits keep you alive and well. Another secret to his peace was his faith and gratitude. Coming from a humble background, he never forgot his roots. Even when he became famous worldwide, he often expressed gratitude for his parents, his upbringing, and the opportunities life gave him. Instead of complaining about aging, he treated old age as a blessing, a chance to give back, to reflect, and to guide. Lesson number 7. The happiest elderly people are those who live with gratitude, not regret. Emotional strength in later years. Life wasn't always easy. Like every human being, Frank Caprio faced personal challenges, health concerns, and the loss of loved ones. But instead of letting grief break him, he let those experiences make him more compassionate. He showed that emotional strength doesn't mean hiding your feelings, it means using your struggles to connect more deeply with others. Lesson number 8. Don't hide your pain. Use it to build empathy and your old age will feel lighter. So in this third part, we've learned the personal side of Judge Caprio's wisdom. He stayed rooted in family and love. He lived a disciplined but simple lifestyle. He practiced gratitude and faith, and he turned his struggles into emotional strength. In the next and final part, we will reflect on the legacy of Judge Frank Caprio, how his life teaches us the true meaning of aging gracefully, and the lessons you can apply today to make your later years your best years. We've journeyed through the life of Judge Frank Caprio, his humility, his purpose, his compassion, and his family values. But perhaps the most important part of his story is the legacy he leaves behind. Because in the end, old age is not about how many years you live. It's about what you leave behind for others. The legacy of kindness. Judge Caprio will forever be remembered not for the power of his courtroom, but for the kindness of his heart. Even in his 80s, when most people slow down, he was spreading hope to millions worldwide. Clips of his compassion have been watched by hundreds of millions. And each time someone sees those moments, they don't just see a judge. They see a grandfather, a teacher, a role model, someone who shows that aging can be beautiful. Lesson number 9. The true legacy of old age is not money or titles, but the impact of your kindness. What we can learn as seniors. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, Judge Caprio's life gives us simple but powerful advice. Stay humble. Never let age or achievements make you arrogant. Stay purposeful. Find something meaningful to do every day. Stay compassionate. Be gentle with others. Kindness multiplies with age. Stay connected. Cherish your family, friends, and community. Stay grateful. See old age not as a burden but as a blessing. These habits don't just make life longer. They make life worth living. So if you ever fear growing old, remember Judge Frank Caprio. He showed us that aging is not about losing your strength, it's about gaining your wisdom. It's not about being forgotten, it's about leaving a legacy that inspires long after you are gone. Imagine if every senior today chose kindness over bitterness, purpose over idleness, gratitude over regret. The world would not just have older people, it would have elders respected and admired just like Judge Caprio. As we close this 30-minute journey, here's the final thought. Old age can either be a season of decline or a season of honor. The choice is yours. Judge Frank Caprio chose honor, compassion, and gratitude, and in doing so he showed us how to live and how to grow old with dignity. So ask yourself today, what kind of legacy will you leave behind?